Hello, and welcome to the Virtual Entrepreneurship Center. VEC is a USDA funded project collaborative between Alabama A&M University in Huntsville, Auburn University in Auburn, Alabama, and Tuskegee University in Tuskegee, Alabama. My name is Dr. Keenan Grinnell. I'm CEO of Global Capital Group out of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. This afternoon we have Ms. Mariah Tomlin, who's with the Center for Governmental Services at Auburn University. We're going to have a conversation with Mariah around how to win in the human resources game for entrepreneurs and small businesses. But before we sort of venture into that, Mariah, if you don't mind, sort of just tell us a little something about yourself, and if you want to share a project that you've been working on that you think is kind of exciting to to the world of human resources, share that with us as well. We kind of want to get a little feel for you, before we kind of delve into the topical area.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you.
I appreciate it, Dr. Grinnell. I do have several different perspectives on human resources, and I can tell you from several different perspectives. What we usually work on in the Center for Governmental Services is development of projects. We do the applied research and applied project, not just teaching or showing individuals or organizations how to do, but we actually serve as consultants for those organizations. And as consultants, we conduct projects based on the needs of those organizations. And all of our projects are based upon several kind of principles that we operate on. Those principles that we operate on are some of the things that I would recommend that whether they be entrepreneurs or whether they be other organizations, also kind of base their operations of HR off of. When we're developing projects to meet needs of the clients, we always tell them these foundational pieces. The first being is that we always develop projects to adhere to Department of Labor laws. We always make sure that any federal laws, FLSA, ADA, all of those regulations at the federal level are addressed and met. And that's one of the primary things I would suggest, is to make sure there's someone on staff who is knowledgeable about federal laws and how to comply with those federal laws. This is a really litigious society right now, and there are lots of opportunities to go belly up, go bankrupt immediately if you have one major lawsuit. So we try and circumvent that at the beginning by being very knowledgeable about labor laws and incorporating that as a baseline into all of our actions, all of our projects.
You just scared me, because I'm watching this this module video, and you mentioned the word of staff. I'm a small entrepreneur. I don't have staff. It's all me. Walk me through what I need to be doing from the knowledge piece in terms of federal labor laws to put me in a winning situation, given the limited human capital that I currently have at my disposal.
You probably don't have a whole lot that you're going to have to, as one individual, worry with. You're not going to have Disabilities Act or returning veterans or issues associated with confidentiality. So as an individual who does not employ others, you probably are not going to have an insurmountable consideration. But if you have 20 people or so, and the laws are shifting right now. So, I don't want to be too exact because I don't want to give incorrect information
Understood.
that's going to shift. But, right now we are seeing a lot of shifting going on because of the Affordable Care Act.
Understood.
And so the numbers of hours employees can work and have an organization be responsible for health care of the employees or not have to be responsible depending on the number of hours they work, will directly impact those if you have employees. If you employ veterans, that might be a different thing. But as an individual and being the only individual, you probably don't have much of anything unless there's some city ordinance or a state ordinance that exists.
What has been, in your opinion, the results of entrepreneurs and small business owners who didn't pay attention to detail on the HR side like what you've laid out? Because the advantages of this module development, collaborative between these three great institutions is to educate and inspire people to launch businesses. And one way to be inspirational is to provide them with information to ward them off from major catastrophe. I hear you doing some of that in how you're responding to these questions. What needs to take place?
Well, if I was developing a business, if I was the entrepreneur, aside from developing a business plan and all of those types of things, and if you're dealing with HR, if I'm employing individuals, I would develop policy and procedure manual, and I would make sure that they were written in compliance with the laws that we were talking about. I would develop a set of job descriptions, a job description for each job. Now, not each employee, not each position, but each job.
Understood.
And I would develop, based on that and an evaluation of those jobs, I would develop a classification plan designed to basically rank employees according to a set of 9 compensable factors that we, compensable being the magic word that you're supposed to pay people in accordance to. And then I would develop a pay plan. And one of those foundational principles that I was mentioning earlier is the issue of equity. And both internal and external equity. That's the basic premise of equal pay for equal work.
Understood. Yeah.
And so I would make sure those components were in place in order to start my business and employ others.
Okay. You're at an educational institution, and I know you're seeing all kinds of nuances with how individuals are being trained, and I would like to think of the art of human resources. What kind of new things do you think are pretty cool, and what do you see that in terms of byproducts now, in terms of new human resources administrators that, entrepreneurs and small business owners need to be aware of, that there's a different kind of expertise that's out on the marketplace to be able to assist them maneuver through some of this compliance, terrain that you're talking about?
I think what we're seeing and what I'm hearing a great deal about are online training programs such as what you are discussing.
Okay.
We're seeing a lot of online training and being able to meet the needs of the employees by having a variety of times being available and having work and accomplishing those work objectives is the primary purpose and primary goal, but allowing for opportunities within the job for growth. So doing online training at varying schedules really makes a great deal of difference. One of the things that I'm seeing and hearing a lot of, both in some of our work sessions that we're conducting and participating in across the state, as well as I've just come from a conference, an international conference, and some of the major issues that they're experiencing are basic skills. Are people, they're using the term job ready, are they able to present themselves professionally? Can they be at work on time? Can they accomplish the goals? Did they buy into the mission and the goals of whatever organization they're working in? Well, all of that requires knowledge and training, and depending on the level of the employee that you're hiring, you know, if you hire somebody just out of school, just graduated from high school, they may not know the importance of those things. So conveying those expectations, it may seem very basic to those of us who've been around for a while and who've been in the workforce, but people who are just new to the workforce, and particularly the younger employees, are going to need all of those job behavior sorts of things and basic job expectations, not those that are specific to the tasks associated with the job, but the job environment in which they work. We are constantly dealing with the issues of job context, the environment in which they are working. I always give this kind of as an example is, you know, you've got to have good human relations and relationship kind of skills. During an emergency, if you're having a heart attack or a stroke, you don't care about somebody being able to carry on a conversation with you. You want somebody who's decisive, who can move it along, and who can save your life. But when we're sitting conversing, or when you're training someone or hiring someone, you want somebody who can carry on the conversation and represent you and your organization well.
Mariah, we're going to stop right there, and if possible, I'm going to try to pick back up. But if not, thank you so much.
Okay,
All
you're
right.
welcome.